Welcome to this session of Energy Conservation and Management. Myself, Anirban Sarkar, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department of JIS College of Engineering, Kolkata. Welcoming all of you to this session. Today's session also we will discuss some others waste heat recovery technologies. Last sessions also we have discussed the same and some important technologies today's also we will discuss. Here, first of all, it is a thermocompressor which is used in to recovery heat in the waste heat recovery cases. So, what is this thermocompressor? A very low pressure steam can reuse as water after condensation for lack of any better option of reuse. So, if a very low temperature low pressure steams are to be reused, then this thermocompressor device is very useful. In many cases, it becomes feasible to compress thin low compress this low pressure steam by very high pressure steam and reuse it as a medium pressure steam. That means when the fluid that has to be gain the heat is entering as in this device as an low pressure steam, but when the outcome it will be medium pressure steam. The major energy in stream is in its latent heat value, and thus thermocompressor would gives a large improvement in waste heat recovery. The thermocompressor is a simple equipment with a nozzle where high pressure steam is accelerated into a high velocity fluid. This entertains the low pressure stream by momentum transfer and then recompress in a divergent venture. It is typically used in evaporator where the boiler steam is recompressed and used as heating stream. Next very important type of waste recovery device, that is direct contact heat exchangers. Low pressure steam may also be used to preheat the feed water or some other fluid where miscibility is acceptable. This principle is used in direct contact heat exchanger and fluid wide use in the steam generation station. They essentially consist of a number of trays mounted one over another or packed bed. Steam is supplied below the packing while the cold water is sprayed at the top. The steam is completely condensed in the incoming water, thereby heating it. Typical application is the deaerator of a steam generation station. So in a steam generation station, the deaerator use this thing where that is the air removed from the fluid that has to be used as an feed water in case of boiler, where direct from the steam is heated in this case. So it is the example of direct contact heat exchanger also. Another type of economizer or heat exchanger that is called fin tube heat exchanger or economizer. Fin tube heat exchangers are used to recover heat from low to medium temperature exhaust gases for heating liquid. Application include boiler feed water preheating, hot processes liquid, hot water for space heating, or domestic hot water. The fin tube consists of a round tube with attached fin that maximize surface area and heat transfer. Liquid flows through the tubes and receives heat from hot gases flowing across the tube. Now this figure illustrates a fin tube heat exchanger where boiler exhaust gas are used to feed water preheating. A setup commonly is known in the boiler that is termed as economizer. So economizer is placed in the path of the flue gas to extract the heat from the flue gas to raise the temperature of the feed water heater, which is again coming from deaerator. So as much as near high the saturation temperature that it temperature raises, the economy of the boiler will be there. So as to we have to spend less amount of fuel to raise the water to vapor, to superheated vapor. Now, low temperature energy options and technology. So how to extract heat from the low temperature waste heat recovery. So far we have used basically that is high temperature heat recovery and medium temperature heat recovery. That is heat exchangers, air preheaters, etc., heat pipe, heat pump, etc. These are all can extract heat. It is highly efficient. These devices are from high heat energy recovery and medium heat energy recovery. In low temperature waste heat recovery, there are various applications where low grade waste heat has been cost effectively recovered for use in industrial facilities. The large quantities of waste heat available in the range of 38 degrees centigrade to 200 degrees centigrade and the inherent challenges to its recovery and use warrant a separate and in-depth investigation of low temperature waste heat. Much industrial waste heat is in the low temperature range. For example, if we say combustion systems such as boiler frequently use recovery technologies that exhaust gases at around 150 degree to 180 degrees centigrade, accounting for at least 460 trillion British thermal unit of waste heat per year. Meanwhile, large quantities of waste heat can be found in industrial cooling water and cooling air, that is mainly in called cooling tower. For example, cooling of air compressor alone accounts for about 18 trillion British thermal unit of waste heat per year. One integrated shell mill in Japan successfully installed power generation plant with a 3.5 megawatt capacity using cooling water only at 98 degree centigrade. In case of combustion exhaust gases, substantial heat can be recovered if water vapor contains in the gases is cooled to low temperature. Minimum temperature limit here in this case, that is 120 to 150 degrees centigrade, that are frequently employed in order to prevent water in the exhaust gases from condensing and depositing corrosive substance on the heat exchanger surface. However, cooling the flue gas further could significantly increase heat recovery by allowing the latent heat of vaporization to be recovered. A pound of water required 1000 BTU of energy to evaporate. Conversely, if a pound of water vapors condensed, it transfers 1000 BTU to the environment. This latent heat compromises a significant portion of energy contained in exhaust gases. Technologies that are minimized chemical attack while cooling exhaust gases below the condensation point can be achieved significantly increasing in energy efficiency via recovering the latent heat of vaporization. The figure that after this slide, which displays the energy recovery per pound of fuel with different stack exit temperature. If gas are cooled from 150 degrees centigrade to 60 degrees centigrade, then facility can obtain 3% energy increasing efficiency. Cooling gases further to 38 degrees centigrade capture a portion of latent heat and can provide an 11% efficiency increase. Now, the challenges to recover low temperature waste heat. So there are few challenges are there. First of all, corrosion of the heat exchanger surface. As water vapor contains in the exhaust gas pool, some of it will condense and deposit corrosive solids and liquids on the heat exchanger surface. The heat exchanger must be designed to withstand exposure of these corrosive deposits. This generally requires using advanced material or frequently replacing component of the heat exchanger, which is often uneconomical. Another point, that is, large heat exchange surfaces requires for heat transfer in case of low temperature waste heat. Thus, heat transfer rates, as we know, are the function of the thermal conductivity of the heat exchanged material. The temperature difference between the two fluid stream and the surface area of the heat exchanger. Since low temperature waste heat will involve a smaller temperature gradient between two fluid streams, larger surface areas are required for heat transfer. This limits economics of the heat exchanger. So these points tells that if we want to recover heat from the low temperature waste heat, so the surface area of the devices such as heat exchanger would be bigger one, and so it will be uneconomical. And also the heat transfer coefficient also, if we use the latest technology and for advanced material for low temperature heat recovery, that will be not also economical. So these are the barriers. And another point is that finding a use for low temperature heat. Recovering heat in the low temperature range will only make sense if the plant has a use of low temperature heat. Potential end uses includes domestic hot water, space heating, and low temperature process. Other options include using heat pump to upgrade heat to a higher temperature to serve a load requiring higher temperature. Additionally, low temperature power generation technologies are slowly emerging. Now, there are some low temperature heat exchangers. That is, in this case, first of all, that is deep economizer. So these deep economizer are designed to cool exhaust gas of 65 degrees centigrade to in range between 65 to 71 degrees centigrade, and to withstand the acidic condensed deposit on its surface. Designs includes the following options: installing a throwaway section of cold end of an economizer. The tubing in the cold end will degrade over time and will need to be readily replaced. The frequency of replacement will depend on the flue gas composition and the material of construction. Designing the economizer with stainless steel tube. Stainless steel can withstand acidic gases better than the mild steel typically used in construction of an heat exchanger. Using carbon steel for the majority of heat exchanger, but using stainless steel tubes in the cold end where acidic deposits will occur. Using glass tube heat exchangers mainly for gas to gas applications such as air preheater, and using advanced material such as tip. So in a particular in a heat exchanger, if we changes some small things, that economizer may be very effective. The mild steel tubes, if we can replace with that stainless steel one, so that can give us better heat exchange at lower temperature range. And using glass tube is a better option in case of air preheater, and advanced material such as Teflon etc. can be used. Next, which is very important nowadays, that is direct contact condensation recovery in low temperature range. This direct contact condensation recovery is an emerging one. This direct contact condensation recovery involves direct mixing of process steam and cold fluids. Since this system do not involve a separating wall across the heat must be transferred. They avoid some of challenges of the large heat transfer surfaces required for indirect contact. For example, if flue gas enters the heat exchanger, they are cooled by cold water introduced at the top of the unit. The heated water stream exists through the bottom of the exchanger and provides heat to an external system. A challenge with direct contact condensation is the water can be contaminated by substances of the flue gas. So here is the figure of this direct contact condensation type of heat exchanger. So from the boiler exhaust, typically it is shown here, that is nearly 150 degrees centigrade is entering into the stack. And while that one, a water sprays on that path of the flue gas, so that the water takes the large amount of heat in the range between 54 degrees centigrade to 60 degrees centigrade. And remaining flue gas that exists from the stack, that is as shown, is 38 degrees centigrade to 48 degrees centigrade to the atmosphere, which is in the environmental ranges now. Now these water which are at the downstairs of this chimney are accumulated. These waters are run by the pump with the heat exchangers, and through that heat exchangers some auxiliary units are also run. So this is the example of the direct condensation type of heat exchanger at low temperature heat recovery system. Next is indirect contact condensation recovery. In case of indirect contact condensation recovery units, cool gases to 38 to 43 degrees centigrade. In this range, the water vapor in gases will condensate almost completely. Indirect contact exchangers consist of a shell and tube heat exchangers. They can be designed with stainless steel, gas, Teflons, or other advanced materials. Next, transport membrane condenser. In a transport membrane condenser are developing technologies for capturing water along with water's latent heat from the water vapor in the gas exhaust stream. Water is extracted from the flue gas at temperature above dew point by employing capillary condensation and recycled into the boiler feed water. Schematics of this operation is shown next slide. Like direct contact heat recovery units, this transport membrane condenser extract hot water directly from the flue gas. However, since this recovery of water via transport through a membrane, a recovered water does not become contaminated as in a direct contact. These technologies have been demonstrated for clean exhaust stream in a natural gasifier boiler. However, TMCs requires more research in advanced material before widespread implementation for application in the waste heat stream, so that the dirtier waste heat stream recovery is possible. Needed areas for R&Ds for enhancement include these transport membrane condenser strain and resistance to contaminants. So this is the a schematic diagram of the transport membrane condenser, but the membranes are there. Through that membrane, the low temperature flue gas can be heated significant portions. Now, next is that is term dozen. Next, the very useful things that is called a heat pump. It is various commercial applications it has. Previously, we have also discussed to some extent. We find waste heat being transferred from a hot fluid to a fluid at lower temperature. Heat must flow continuously downhill, that is, from a system at high temperature to one at lower temperature. When energy is repeatedly transferred or transformed, it becomes less and less available for users. Next is closed compression cycle. So as explained, used in a closed compression cycles to recover heat from cooling water, leaving a sterilizer in a the sterilizer in the plant discharges cooling water at 53 degrees centigrade. A heat pump is used to lower the temperature of the cooling water, while using the heat extracted to increase the temperature of processed water used elsewhere in the plant. The heat pump consists of an evaporator, compressor, condenser, and expansion valve. In an evaporator, energy is transferred from a waste heat source to the refrigerant. Then the refrigerant enters the compressor where the temperature increases. Superheated refrigerant then enters the condenser and transferred heat to the heat sink. Finally, refrigerant is throttled in an expansion valve before returning to the evaporator. So this is a closed compression cycle. Here they are using an refrigerant as an working fluid to transfer a low temperature heat source to the uses of some sterilization process. Now, open cycle vapor compression. These systems use compression to increase the pressure of waste vapor. Mechanical vapor recompression uses a mechanical compressor, while thermal vapor recompression uses a steam ejector and therefore is heat driven rather than mechanically driven. Absorption heat pump. Absorption heat pump are very similar to the closed compression cycle, except the compressor is replaced by a more complex heat-driven absorption system. Depending on the plant need, the system can be configured in multiple ways. Heat pump. This heat pump can use medium temperature inputs to reject heat in one lower temperature stream and one high temperature stream. The second application can be used for air conditioning and or refrigeration. Chilling cycles can be valuable for applications such as food refrigeration or for cryogenic process in various industries. So these are the type 2 heat pump. Type 1 heat pump can use lower and higher temperature heat input to reject heat at an intermediate level. So these are all some use of these technologies that in the industries extensively using. So thank you for joining this session.